Hello, it is Thursday, and this is the last of the 2025 Bad Blood live streams. How's everybody doing today?
Good, good, good.
Super
Good.
fantastic.
All right, so we have representation from the three primary factions of the game,
We don't
and
need to talk about them tribals.
no, we don't need them. They're just a hindrance, right?
They got what
So
they deserve.
tonight is going to be all about what happened. Why did we do this to ourselves? We're old men that hurt.
The Dead Blood game hurt for sure.
Yeah. All right. So tonight we got Joker from Black and Tan, Nesbit from Deus Ex, and AWOL from Green's Army. Let's just go around the room. Joker, how did you feel about the game?
I said it, we had our AAR on Tuesday, but I said it during the end. I'll say it again. I think that once we made the adjustments in the game from going back to the mobile respawns, it changed the dynamic. It changed the dynamic of the game back to what Bad Blood was, and improved everybody's demeanor. It was a blast. I had a great time marching across the field multiple times. I had a great time stealing the scientist right out from underneath Deus Ex and Green's Army as they're fighting each other. My guys just grab them and we just sneak out and we go and win. It was perfect for us.
Yeah, I wish I would have gotten to actually see it because I was the secondary objective to that, and I didn't get to see it go down. All I could hear was Buck telling me that he's been trying to clear people out of the area so we could kind of sneak the scientists in so they could snuck out. And eventually he said, "Nah, forget it. Let's just move." So
He started yelling at me because there was an issue that was the holding of hostage the Black and Tan CO that had to be resolved and people hiding behind. So, um, it was a great time. I mean, we went out there. The weather held out, so all the people that were complaining that, oh, it's gonna rain, it's gonna pour, and everything. Weather was fantastic all weekend. It rained after everything was done.
yeah, I don't know if you even realized, but the whatchamacallit, the rain didn't actually start until right as we gave away the last AEG at the raffle.
Oh, I was aware. I was
Yeah.
standing right there. I was like,
I,
it's
I, just- I just thought that was great that the fact that it held out and it held out and held out, and then as we're done, okay, get out of here. It
and
was nice.
everybody had a good. I mean, for the most part, the ones that stuck around had a really good time, and I appreciate those ones that came out, stuck through. I definitely appreciate the people that showed up for Dead Blood, that showed up on time or at the game briefing to understand the nuanced rules of the game.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
AWOL, how'd you feel?
Um, really well. I mean, it was until we changed the mechanics. I felt like it just kept becoming a pinch point until we changed the mobile spawns, and then it was like Joker said, it actually felt like Dead Blood, Bad Blood, and then that last hour, 45 minutes when it was just pretty much us and Tan going back and forth was just epic.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because I posted. As I was telling Joker and Wiener on Tuesday, I posted up in the castle for the end of the day, so I could kind of get like a central view, if I could, what was going around. And all I saw was just kids just running every direction they could at full tilt. And
The
I'm
last
thinking,
45 minutes, they
oh
gave
yeah,
100%.
yeah, it
They
was
were just
insane.
pushing for giving 100%, just spawning and just going.
Yeah, I mean, I was just walking, the majority of the day. I don't even want to know. I was just walking around the majority of the day, and I was wiped out. Then to see these kids who had been out there fighting all day long still got it in them to push. That was it was heartwarming. I felt really good about it. So, Nesbit, what did you think? What was your overall opinion?
My overall opinion is this had to have been one of the most fun Bad Bloods I've been to in the last few years. I think initially I actually liked the positions of moving the flags for the spawn just because it forced a backdrop for every movement every team made. But then when we changed it over to running the mobile spawn points, just seeing how the game dynamic changed over to just like this, you're crashing everywhere, was absolutely stunning to watch. You know, watching Black and Tan's tactics, you got Black coming up on one side, Tan coming on the other and crashing on you. Watching Green run for the hills. I mean, it was fantastic.
It was that was definitely the funny part of it, because it's like at the last like 20 minutes or like last hour, AWOL knew like Joker knows I'm here. He's coming for me with everyone, and yeah. So that was exactly what the plan was, and I kept advancing that. We kept advancing up to try to get as close as possible to take him out, but still stay 50 feet away from combat, so we could only move the mobile respawn up to that 50-foot mark. It was great.
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Marxist / Black and Tan gameplay has always kind of been, let's get all the samples, and then once the samples are secure, then it's a CO hunt.
Correct.
Yes.
That's the mentality that we have. Not just the CO hunt. You know, I was broadcasting that out there before the game. We also wanted the HVTs as well.
Right, of course.
So we wanted to do get at least the HVTs, and go through and really really march across the field. Once we had everything, what I told everybody that was there is like, look, first couple hours, we got to get the stamps. Once we get the stamps, we're CO hunting. After we get the stamps, I don't give a damn what the hell you all do. I want my stamps. And we got them. And then a group split off that were more Milsim oriented. And I was like, okay, cool. You all have your fun. We're going to go do this. And it was just a blast. I mean, Bad Blood for me every single year is a must-attend event, because the gameplay, it's not complex. It's there to be BB slinging. It's there for bragging rights. And it's there to go up to do the friendly banter. Although people thought Brad and I were going to fight at one point, which was hilarious.
So you let the Milsimmers go off and do their thing. Here's what I find interesting is I won't say never, but I very rarely had to deal with Black and Tans who were lost and couldn't find their group. Yet, for I would say for a good couple hours, Headkill was on the radio constantly trying to figure out where Green's spawn was because he had lost players. Were you sleeping? What's going on? Where were you guys?
I had a group of Milsimmers. I had two groups right out of the gate. I was doing, my speech to everybody, hey, this is Bad Blood. We're going to go as a force. You're not going to have fun if you go off by yourself, because everybody's running as a force. You're going to be 5 against another team. And I had 2 or 3 groups that were just, oh, nope, we're here to do the Milsim thing. I had my bush Wookiees that, we're snipers and we're going to be hidden in brown leaves in the middle of a, green season. But,
Yeah, I mean, everybody who's watched the streams has experienced my feeling about the idea of ghillie suit snipers, or as much as NYC Airsoft doesn't recognize the platform, your ghillie suited DMRs. I don't get it. Like, I know the couple Wookiees you're talking about, and yeah, they were posted up in the green weeds in their black or their brown mossy. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess if you're still enough, you'll be fine, but that's kind of not the point,
They definitely stood out.
Oh, they definitely stood out. They absolutely stood out. And it's Primer making everybody famous. How we doing?
What's up?
Except Black and Tan.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except Black and Tan. He didn't make Black and Tan famous.
He did not make Black and Tan famous. No. You probably saw more comment than I did, Primer. What did you think? What was your overall take?
There's a lot of walking. I was part of the walking when I came on green. I probably spent an hour looking for the spawn.
I rest my case. That's great.
Because every green person I encountered was like, "Where's Spawn?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I'm looking for it too."
See, this is why we have radios. You get on the radio with your own team, not with us, and say, "Hey, where are you? I'm lost, and I'd like to spawn and play the game."
Yeah,
But,
that's what we finally did. And then they're like, "Oh, they're in the north side." I'm like, oh, "Okay, well, we'll walk over there now."
And I want to point out that's why I put my primary away like an hour in, is because the radio became, my primary.
Howdy.
Hey, so that's funny. AWOL, I was telling my wife about you, and it's like everybody else when I'm, we're out there and they need to talk to me or Moondog. It was very military-esque, Joker to Sonic over, blah blah blah, and then all I get is Ian, and I just Brad, like no radio protocol whatsoever. It's like, oh, all right, at least I knew who it was. Buck, what was your overall opinion? We're going around the room.
Overall opinion on the event, I had a great time. Had a whole lot of herding cats for a few hours, and got some good trigger time.
What kind of herding cats would a tribal need to be doing?
Don't ask.
Hi.
All of you. Every single one of you.
All right, whatever works. So, all right.
Hey man, you put me in charge of HVT, plus people are being stupid, and then someone kidnapped Archimedes, and then that was a whole thing.
Okay, let's.
Look, we didn't kidnap him. We didn't kidnap him. We seized an opportunity.
And you seized my CO.
All right, let's go
holding
into that.
hostage.
So this kind of incident doesn't happen again. Now, I want to preface, I don't want us actually hold on. I don't want this to turn into how do we fix it night. I'm sure we're going to come up with their ideas, but
I
there's one
better
thing
not
we
need to
forgot to
describe
say.
again.
For those who maybe skipped the post briefing or the raffle, I don't know why you would do that thing. It was a tie this year, only because I guess Joker found some extra tickets or some extra cards in his
Pouch.
bag, and Black and Tans could have actually won this thing, but no, it was a tie.
Joker's fault, guys. If you want to blame anybody, blame him.
No. We
Blame
won.
Joker.
We won the night game. We got the HVTs.
Yeah, congrats on the night game win, because I know some parts of the night game got messed up, but looks like people had fun anyway.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about the night game after we talk about what not to do in the future, and that is hold a bleeding out CO for longer than their 5 minutes. That's my understanding of what happened. Archimedes was hit. He was bleeding out like he should, so he can get looted for his stamp. And then what? They just wouldn't let him leave? Like, nope. He could just get up and walk away. Were they just like reshoot him?
I think his understanding was that he has a tribal respawn, so to speak. So every time he tried to get up and say, I'm alive again, they're like, nope, shot him again.
No,
Wow.
that's not what happened. That's what they told him his bleed out was. So Deus Ex was like, oh no, you have tribal rules, and it just needs to be emphasized in the future to the COs that they have to go back to their respawn once they're hit. And
After the 5-minute bleed.
Yeah, after the 5-minute bleed out, they're dead until they go back to their respawn point.
Right.
So it's like I get it. It's look, if the reality it comes down to it is this was a fun event. It was there to be fun. Some people were taking super serious and getting very passionate about the stuff that they were doing. Others
Good
were
word.
just trying to find their stamp, the missing stamp box that wasn't manned by tribals, and having a good time. That's what it boils down to. Having a good time.
All right. Great. Primer, how did you tie your night game into the main event?
I just said that the people who brought back the objectives got points, and if they were on a certain side, they would get points the next day.
Okay, so but there wasn't like a storyline or anything.
Oh yeah, I mean it was based at the Congo, and there was an extra an extra strain that needed to be extracted with the help of a scientist, and the facility was needed to be destroyed too. So there's a bit of a explosive planting part, a find the scientist part, find an objective part, and I put a 30-pound sandbag in a large metal canister that had to be carried by multiple people as an objective for the last thing. I heard someone tried to carry it themselves and then realized that it's a very large thing with very heavy things inside. So
That's not cool, man. Actually, that sounds great. But
30 pounds though. 30 pounds.
it was a 30-pound. I was gonna put a 50-pound sandbag in there, but I figured that when I went through the briefing and I said, depending on your
I could only.
I wasn't
Run
sure.
up, I'm gonna get it. Yoink.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if depending on who was gonna pick up if it was a bunch of kids or gonna struggle with a 70-pound case.
3 kids dragging it from one side.
Yeah, so I figured 30 pounds is good enough.
Bunch of 12-year-olds.
I love it. That's great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Jesus.
That's awesome.
I like that you had a scientist aspect of it too, because I've only really shared it with maybe a handful of people, but I've actually written this comprehensive backstory that links all of the classic NYC Airsoft games together into one big storyline.
Wow.
And the mad scientist aspect of Bad Blood directly leads into the post-apocalyptic games of Wasteland and Mayhem. So
That's cool.
that's great that it was there. So because
Nice.
that's actually how I wrote them into as the HVTs for the
nice. Okay.
the
Well, that's
Saturday
awesome.
game.
I'm
Yeah.
glad that we just synergized, but didn't even do it on purpose.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. Perfect.
We'll get some even better stuff cooking for next year.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. Okay, so again, let's go around the room.
Great. We'll see you back in a month.
Yeah,
Next
right.
time.
Now let's start with AWOL. Did you think of any catastrophic failures? And don't talk about respawn. We can talk about how we fixed respawn. Something that just you felt was just off.
Target identification. And it
Every
wasn't,
year.
it was just my guys were, hey, we're gonna go and we're coming from the backside of Pines, the oil pipeline. We're gonna go to the North Trailhead. And it was just I'd get 15 or 20 guys that would just dead sprint. And this was the whole game. They would dead sprint, get all the way there, and then for some reason they would post up facing back at the way that we were heading. And the moment there's movement. Don't care that it's woodland on woodland. There's no confusion there. Automatically green on green.
Do you want to talk about how when you had deserters, I took care of it for you?
Okay. What? Wait, what?
We were at Pipeline, and my stamp collectors were collecting the Stample at there. And I said, one guy's like, "Oh, what are we going next?" I was like, "We're gonna push to Northern Trailhead." And I had 5, 6 guys that were like, "Okay." And they started going. I was like, "Hold on, we're gonna go as a group. Don't push up there yet. Tan is up there. Don't go up there." And he's like, "Yeah." And they just kept going. And Buck's like, we've taken over Pipeline. The tribals are just standing there because I'm like, "Hey, we're leaving. We're getting out of your hair. We're leaving." And Buck just kind of looks at me, and he looks at them, and looks at me, and I was like, "Listen, I can't tell you to go fuck with them, but."
My response was, "It looks like you have some deserters."
Wow.
I killed an entire squad.
My response would be kill them. They're not listening.
And I did with a grenade at their feet. They were like, "Oh wait, he's friend." And then I got very close and started shooting him. One got shot in the dick.
Now that's mean.
Yeah.
Why?
Hey, to be fair,
No.
he moved very fast and turned. So I immediately went to, that one's gonna draw him first.
And then I had the fort curse, where we're pushing by Titman Town, and they kept wanting to push into the fort, and we're trying to push around, and but nope, we're not going to the fort. Come on.
But the
We're not-
fort, the fort is where it's at. There's nothing
Yeah.
there.
Exactly, and we'd already been there. We just got done clearing it, and they're like, "Oh, somebody's in the fort. We need to go to the fort."
Yeah, I know you went to the fort, and we went chasing to kill you because your entire army went that way, and then we ran into some shenanigans with two particular players that seemed to have their level 3 BB plates in and god armor or whatever. So,
But were they wearing day nods? Because that's important.
Are we playing Warzone rules?
that's what it felt like. But it was. I mean, I can tell you right now, when players were not listening to me, when we were inside and we were trying to get that sample inside of Pine Forest going up against Green, I was like, move, move. And mind you, they're all running up, taking tactical positions. And here's me just walking all the way up. Just like, yo, if I can make it up here walking, you can too. Move. I will shoot you. And I turned around also, I was like, you move. And he goes, no. So I went, pop. He goes, really? Gets up, walks back to respawn.
At least he took it.
Yeah.
Was that at the beginning?
That was definitely at the beginning. I was shooting my own players because they weren't moving.
Yeah, no, I was pushing Pines on the opposite side, and if you're behind me, you're too far back. And then I'd have guys post up, and I'm like, listen, our guys are 100 foot ahead. Your gun's not shooting past them. Come on.
That's the great thing that I love about this is that they expect, like me in particular, like if you're on Deus Ex or Black and Tan, you're gonna get shot, or Marxist or Black and Tan, you're gonna get shot if I'm ahead of you.
Yeah.
If you're taking cover, you're wrong.
That was the funniest thing is like after I came over and I saw you guys at that northern spawn there at Pines, and I started walking in it because I love going in there and talking to 5-0 to see how they're doing in there, and like you guys, Black and Tan is pushing from the north, Greens is pushing from the south. I go in there and I'm talking to one of 5-0, and I'm like, what is happening here? And he just sits down and goes, I don't know. I'm just watching this. Even the tribals had given up. They're like, I don't know what this is.
I went like this. We only had 6 of our stamp collectors get the stamp. So we kept pushing it because I wanted my 10 stamps and then leave.
Right.
And finally I just said, screw it. We're getting overrun from the side and from the front, like from the side and now from the front. We're going to retreat out. We'll come back later. And we did because we had to go find the other goddamn stamp that no tribals were protecting. I mean, I don't know about you all, Nesbit or AWOL. I walked that damn field with 80% of my army 4 times.
Yep, I was right behind you on that one. I can't tell you how many times I traversed every inch of that field looking for it, only to find it where it was.
So you did find it.
Yes.
What box were you guys trying to find? If you don't mind.
There was
The
one
one.
that was actually placed due west of Skull Tower, buried deep in the bush next to a flagstone wall. Like
No kidding.
it was either
That's
one
a
of those things
good-
where I actually had to be shown where it was because I couldn't even find it.
Damn.
What do you mean? Who his players wanted in all this?
Wow, Mike.
Damn.
Wow, damn.
Called you out, Joker.
Joker, how are you going to allow that? How are you going to sit there and allow that kind of
Look, there's
blasphemy?
now another meme image going around where I was mentioned again as a Florida iceberg lore, so I'll take it.
Also,
I'm a guy that
Panika-
marched my army across the field to take victory,
Yeah.
and I was the guy that was patient zero that ate all the BBs during the event. So that's who I am.
apparently Nesbit was by himself as Deus Ex. So what just went catastrophic for Deus Ex out there?
Well, so I split off with a couple of my guys. I allocated a large group of my guys of my platoon over to platoon 1 so they were fighting against both Black and Tan and Green simultaneously. It was me and like 4 of my guys. We were moving through the brush over by the water tent, and just out of nowhere, just a couple of Greens popped up, wiped them. I didn't have my LMG on me at that point. It had already blown itself up. I was down to my pistol. I emptied what I had and was able to get out of there. And then I was just like, okay, well, I'm by myself now. Maybe I'll be a little bit sneakier. I threw a new pistol mag in, made sure I had gas in it. I'm like, I'm only going to shoot if I absolutely have to. And then I just started the solo hunt on my own. I'm like, if I find it, come hell or high water, I'm just going to radio it in. That way everybody knows where it's at. I'm going to take the solo approach and see how it does near the end. So, yeah, it was just a matter of everybody dying around me and me just going, well, shit.
All right.
That's the way she goes sometimes.
Exactly.
Hey, man, it wouldn't be a Bad Blood without an absolute catastrophic failure.
There's
but you
always
know
at
what?
least one.
I said this on Players Wanted the other day, and I've been saying to anybody I talk to, this was probably the smoothest Bad Blood in
By
a decade.
far.
Yeah.
By far.
Apparently, everybody was listening to us for the past 2 months. We had very few, if any, actual heat casualties of any sort. The only ones I honestly remember were you, Buck, and Doc, and you guys took yourselves out to get some rest before you became a problem, which is great.
I had realized after the fact some of the issues that I had, and I rectified them very quickly. I was up and at 'em and good by the next day.
Yeah, and I think I can only think of 2 injuries that required any kind of attention that I knew of. So other than that, everybody was pretty much on it, which is great. What's up?
You missed me blowing out, like exploding my ankle on the night game.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Okay.
Oh,
All right.
yeah, that was
Because he hobbled over to my freaking campsite afterwards. He's like, yeah, I gotta go ice this. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, so
Okay.
so during the night game, me and one other guy, a buddy of mine, Shelton, we got up on the castle wall and we could hear him in there yelling and screaming. We're like, all right, we're gonna be sneaky as hell about this. We go to take some shots. We turn to move. My foot found a hole. The rest of me kept going, and I felt my ankle just like out to the side. And I'm like, that's not good. And my buddy's like, dude, you good? I'm like, yeah, no, no.
I'm gonna preemptively order like some ankle braces and some knee braces for next year.
That is a great comment from Rush.
The only catastrophic failure we had was we got we had Numbskull, and we're standing there. We're waiting for Tribal to fix. We're waiting for Tribal to reposition their sample case, and we're standing there, staring. Next thing you know, right up my back is like, ow! What the? Here's Greed coming around. I was like, what are y'all doing? That's our respawn. Your flag's not there. What do you mean my flag's not there?
It's not there. Yeah.
It's supposed to be there.
By the way, I want to call shenanigans on moving that box at the bottom of the ravine. We rucked it to the bottom of that, and me and Duck with our old ass bones climbed out of that pit hurting like hell, only for 10 minutes later to hear, oh yeah, we're gonna move the box out of the bottom of the ravine. I'm like, bullshit, leave it there.
No, we
To be fair, that should have been moved beforehand. That should never have ended up there, and we had talked to Tribal about it beforehand. Those boxes should not have ended up anywhere near the ravine. Period.
But you know what? Good on you for actually going down there and getting it and being able to make it back up, because
and not getting hurt.
problem. Yeah, not getting hurt. That's the biggest
Yes.
problem.
Who said not getting hurt? What part of old ass bones and ravine do not put 2 and 2 together?
So
you were hurting before the ravine.
So I'm standing up
It
there
didn't
talking
get
with
much
Tribal and saying that box needs to move, and they go, why? And you have a green dude come running, try to stop, trip, and then roll. And when he stopped, he was about that far away from the tape. Now, mind you, we went down there, and when we came back up, I watched 2 people fall. I laughed, then I slipped. And I was like, I get to the top of the hill, I look at the guy in Tribal, and I was like, this is why it's not here.
Oh man, look, man, if you're not dying, you're not trying. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That works.
What's up, Garcia? So it was definitely an interesting scenario, to say the least. Who wants to address that Jane Doe comment?
That's a
'Cause-
loaded question.
Yeah,
So here's where I'll step in on this one. I got it.
go ahead.
So Chrono is a touchy thing for all of you guys out there that are watching. Chrono is not only a constant issue because not everybody knows how to do Chrono. We have to literally teach these volunteers sometimes on the fly of like, hey, this is what this means. This is what this means. These are the charts. These are the XYZ. So we don't always have that luxury. And when you guys also go through a point where there is nothing, none of you, for like 45 minutes, and we're just sitting there with our thumbs planted firmly, I'm not going to stick around and wait for you. Sorry. I mean, like, we have the allotted times, and, like, we're going to still, like, try to do our due diligence about keeping Chrono open. Like, next year, we had the issue that was addressed with Friday Night Chrono being closed a little bit early. Going forward, we're going to have it on a flexible system. If you do not get there in time for the Chrono to be open, that is your own prerogative. I'm sorry, but like you guys have to abide by the systems that we have put in place. We're trying to make sure everybody can go. There's a lot of you. We can't put everybody through in one night's frame in a matter of 2 hours. That's just too many people. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Well,
So yes, some of you are going to have to go to Saturday morning if you guys missed
Joker
the cutoff.
Joker was very diplomatic with the issues he had to deal with on Friday.
Absolutely.
And the easiest way I think of putting it is he made a very good point. We're all volunteers there. And some of us we're not even going to talk about driving. Let's not even get into that because you're going to win, Joker. So fine. Some of us had been there since before noon. And you and I were there. Joker was right on our heels when we got there.
I was actually there, and then I left to go get food
okay.
because nobody was there.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So some people have been there since even the morning time, and we have stuff we need to do too. We need to eat. We need to prepare. We need to, there's things we need to do too. So when no one's at Chrono or registration for upwards of a half an hour, we're going to kind of say, okay, this is it. This is who's here. Let's call it. Let's get our shut eye and be bright eyed, bushy tailed for Saturday.
So
See, that's
I'm gonna
kind of
hold
the
on.
issue, Jane Doe, for that
let me-
second comment there. Go ahead.
let me piggyback something here. So
Sure,
first
please.
and foremost, so when it came down to registration in Chrono, that didn't open because EMR set limitations on us. So when we opened it, that's when we were allowed to open those two things up. So let's put that out there first, right? Once we did, 20 minutes before 7 o'clock, there was nobody in line for Chrono. There was nobody in line for registration. Ian was walking around. He was even saying, hey, guys, come get it up. We're going to be closing Chrono on the bullhorn. He was like, we're going to be closing Chrono soon. Come take care of this. Mind you, Ian left, and at 7:15 is the first time somebody's walking up to me saying, why is Chrono closed? Well, even if you listened to the live streams or anything else, you would have known that Chrono would have been closing at around 7:30 if we adhered to it. But also, all the volunteers for Chrono were in the night game and participating in the night game. So
when all of you guys had gone and cleared out of Chrono and we had finished up with that, all of my crew that was going to play in the night game, we then stayed to get them all chronoed because they didn't have time to get all of their kit ready beforehand to come to Chrono and have everything ready, because I had to stop and teach them, get them ready for Chrono, get them to understand how the Chrono works, and then set up the line and get everything set up and how it was supposed to be. So then they had to then rush back, get all of their stuff ready, and then make it within 5 minutes to make it in time for briefing.
mind you, I was there on site till 7:38 is when I stepped off because I said, I'm done, I'm leaving. At that point in time, the people that were there for Chrono at 7:38, which would have been 8 minutes late for Chrono, was just the 9 people that were there. Now, what I did was we opened up registration for several people, and then I talked to AWOL, and AWOL graciously volunteered to chrono everybody's gun going in to play the night game, even though he didn't have to. So now you have another volunteer who's not it's not his responsibility stepping up to help out. So you can't skip the reg process. That has to be a physical waiver that has to be signed out. You have to sign your. You have to sign your.
Hold on, let me put
first.
this in a very simple way. EMR and NYC Airsoft are two separate organizations. For Bad Blood, NYC Airsoft are tenants. We follow the rules that are given to us. When the landlord says, this is when you can open to do this, this, and this, that is when we open to do this, this, and that. Just because you can get to your campsite at noon doesn't mean we, the tenants, can start our business. It does. So there's a double edge there. So we can only do so much with the time we're given. Yes, we're given a lot of leeway because we've been tenants there for so long and we have a good relationship with the owners and operators. But that doesn't mean we can break their rules or we're not going to be tenants much longer.
Right.
So
there may be some systems we can try to implement in the future for different types of registration, and as things are progressing past paper forms, we will try our due diligence to create things that are available to do so. Will I guarantee that's coming this year? Absolutely not.
I can tell you right now because we actually had this question. Timmy and I talked about it, and he likes paper because it's a physical piece of evidence if he has to go to court, and he's had to go to court. He's one of those few airsoft paintball operators who have actually had to fight waivers, lawsuits in court, and because he comes in with stacks and stacks of hand-signed waivers saying this person was here on this date, this date, this date, and this date, and acknowledged the rules. The judge is like, all right, case dismissed. He wins the cases because he's got the proof that people did it. A digital copy, while is a valid piece of legal documentation, he wants that paper trail because it has saved his ass, and I don't blame him.
So one of the things I would say is that EMR allowing people to camp before they do reg is unusual because I can tell you right now, most of the events I go to, you have to do reg before you do anything else. As soon as you step on property, you have to fill out your waiver before you do anything else. And look, there's stuff that we can do to mitigate, but on top of that, again, nothing changes the fact that there was nobody inside the chrono line for the last 20 minutes before it got shut down. The problem is that people were on site for a while and they're like, oh, well, maybe there's a long chrono line. I don't feel like going up there. I want to set my camp up first. Your priority should be, if it's not open, by all means, set up your camp. But as soon as things open, get up there and get everything blown out so then you go back and relax.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to the only reason why I take a little bit of a jab at this is because the guy that was yelling at me because he showed up late and, he goes, why, I drove 5 hours, and I was like, none of this matters. It's like, you're here, waiter. Hey, what's up? Heimlich.
Very nice.
We try our best to accommodate the people that we can. And the only reason why those players had an opportunity to do it is because I like to talk and network. And I was there 15 minutes after Sonic and Moondog said, we're going to dinner. And I was starving. So, yeah.
And that was partially the reason that I was spicy on the phone. By the way, apologies for that. Because I also had not eaten. And that's why I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm done. I did my job.
Yeah.
And so everybody has to just understand and respect the fact that these people are volunteers, right? And I love what we do with Bad Blood and how well we push forward, try to make sure everything's taken care of. We're all adults. We should be responsible, but we're all at least adults.
Come on.
Can't
have both here. So
look, we're big kids with adult money.
I want
try to
my
get-
chalky milk and French fries.
Look, whenever I go to an event, no matter what event I go to, even to the event I am well known at, the first thing I do is I go get registered, I go to the safety brief, I get chronoed, and then I fuck around.
Yeah.
That's just me.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Get the order of figure out the order, guys. That's I think the big coast or the big memoir you should take away from this is when you're reading a player packet and you're getting ready for an event, figure out what the rules are and figure out what that's why we have an itinerary. Figure out what needs to be done before you guys jump from A to B. Because
Yeah.
if you're jumping from A to C and then going back to B, you've already missed the time for B, and then you're gonna go be late for D. So
I think you make a good point, Joker, when you're saying that EMR allowing camping people to set up camp and be on property before they've registered signed into
Huge.
the event is a little weird, but that's how he wants to run it, and that's fine.
Mhm.
But let's look historically since we've been doing this at EMR. It's never really been an issue. Like it always has kind of just worked. And what's happening here with these comments and with other negative things that we could talk about, right? We had 427 ticketed players at the game and however many staff was on the field. So I think we topped out at about 440-ish players on the field, right? What we're doing though is we're looking at these very, very isolated incidents and kind of blowing it up as, oh, well, this was the mentality. No, that's not true. That wasn't the mentality. While some people might have had issue with how we did some things, the overwhelming majority had a great time, followed the rules, didn't get hurt, didn't get sick, and wants to come back.
Yeah.
So by
We
us
had a
picking
great
and
event.
choosing the negative comments that we're getting, we're picking 1 out of 450. And while I value all feedback, when the majority says, hey, this was good and this worked for me, that kind of means it worked. Do you know what I mean? Like Chrono was smooth.
It was.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, especially when the softies jumped in for Chrono on for Dead Blood. We
Hell,
were in and
when
out. It
softies-
was awesome.
when Softies jumped in on Friday night, they helped a big time.
Yeah.
They always, every year, they always help out big time, and they always help get us squared off.
Yeah, and I
yeah.
know because we talked about this also, Joker. When if you're having a bad day and things aren't going your way, you know, your Nesbit and your AEG just exploded, and you're just not there mentally, right? Don't pick fights. Don't take your aggression out on the volunteers, especially the registration volunteers, because they're to make sure you even get in the game. So
I blame Buck.
don't be going up. Don't be going up to those sign-in people with attitude, because they're just going to cut you. Forget it. It's
Also, just fair warning, just for any of those that did get into the reg line and give any of the ladies or any of the kids back there any bit of grief. Remember that these are the children and spouses or significant others of other players, and if you carry that out on field, that might end up with some residual not so goodness, and that's going to create problems. Be nice. Remember who you're talking to. Remember that these are also volunteers. They're here out of the graciousness of their heart, because their significant other, their parent, their whoever, ask them, hey, I'm going to go on this trip. We're going to go shoot BBs at each other. So you're not doing nothing. Do you mind helping out?
Yeah.
That's usually how that conversation goes. How do I know? I've had it many a times.
Yeah, they're sitting in a hot plywood box saying the same
All
thing
day.
over and over 450 times.
Papers, please.
Yeah, give them a
Treat
little
them
slack.
with kindness.
Be nice.
Treat
Yeah,
them with
yeah,
care.
exactly. Yeah, kill them with kindness. Just be nice, be respectful, and the nicer you are, the smoother it's going to go. And what's the old adage?
Catch more
Slow
flies
is
with honey than
smooth,
sugar.
smooth is fast.
Yeah.
So
I
just
mean, there's a lot of old adages you can go there. I heard like 3 start to come out of people's mouths, and then they just
Yeah.
My all-time favorite is just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Like end all be all. We put on these events because we want to grow the community and have fun together. You can't grow the community. You can't have fun together if people are treating each other like shit.
So yelling at my daughter, like I kept my cool. The guy
Ooh,
got
yeah.
loud with my daughter, which is my daughter. She handled herself, which I didn't feel the need to. When he made a comment, I said, "You should really watch what you're going to say right now." That's when I was on the phone with Ian.
Yeah.
Ian knew I was about to verbally bitch slap somebody, or possibly really bitch slap somebody. Because if you come in, look, I Timmy sometimes can get it to where it's like, oh, you want to be that way? You don't need to be here. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I can be like that because we had to kick Buck. I think it was at Syndicate 3 where we kicked the one guy out because he came in yelling and screaming at all of the red staff, and then had
All
the
the red
balls.
staff and the red staff.
Yeah, and then had the balls to come at me, and I was like, "Get the fuck out." We don't like to be that way, and it's not a matter about being a swinging jerk. It's like these are. If you think about who was in Reg, there was a wife of one of the people that were throwing the event. There was 2 children of staff members of the event, and there was a girlfriend of another player there, and then there was Smurf. And Smurf wasn't there until later on, and all of us would have been like, "F you," you know. It's like we kept our cool, and I hope you all realize that. You know, we're there to help. We're there to have a good time. Let's not ruin the rest of this talk by talking about the couple people that were mean that mean at there, because really it was just a couple of people. Even the 4 people that
those
came
bad
up.
apples. Yeah, but Chops just said this, and I think it's worth sharing with everybody. I don't know if people get it's a little small, but basically the camaraderie between everyone out there, because we all know this is a game. We're out here to have fun. So yeah, I mean, I heard it all day long. If somebody got popped real good, they'd scream out, "Great shot!" It was like, my 10 minutes. My 10 minutes.
A lot of great shots this year.
I got to walk, and I'm out for a couple minutes. But like, hey, I'm going to commend this person for this awesome shot, or they flanked me from the side and shot me in the ass or whatever. That's what it's all about, is having respect for everybody out there, having a good time while doing it, and like you said, it's right there in the player packet. Don't be a douche.
Yeah,
just don't be that
rule
guy.
Number 1.
Yeah, it's don't be that guy or that girl who everybody's going to
be that person
about for the rest of the weekend. That guy was a dick. He lit me up after I had my hand up because he said he didn't see me, and then I'm walking back to spawn and he shot me again. Well, he was having a bad day, and that sucks for him. But don't get down about it. Just continue on with your game.
Worse for everybody because you're having a bad time.
Yeah, exactly. So don't bring your bad time to somebody else's good time.
If you can tell you're having a bad time and you're not getting better, take a walk, man. Go get some water.
Oh, there was plenty of that.
Yeah. Hey, those food vendors, they kept everybody alive. Like, as much as I'm not a huge fan of people leaving the field for whatever reason, because I'm an all in kind of guy, right? But that's not everybody's jam, and that's fine.
Not the game. It's not this game.
Watching people, okay, I need a break. Go. They get a drink. They get a soda. Bad idea. Drink water. Get something to eat. apparently those, what the heck are they called? Speedies. I mean,
the Speedies. Yeah.
I'm from Hoagie Land. I don't know what the hell a Speedy is, but apparently those were awesome. So
no, they were killer.
Come off the field, get something to eat, rejuvenate yourself, get out of your bad funk, and come back out and just kill it.
Yeah, look, yeah, so
99% of everybody's nice, but if that one bad apple can throw everybody off, and if you tick off the registration ladies, now they're in a bad day, and nobody wants that, because like everybody is saying, they're out there because of the kindness of their heart, or they got voluntold to do it by their significant other,
or their parent.
Yeah, exactly. Just cut them some slack. Everybody's there to just enjoy. Don't be that guy. Yeah.
Anyway. Stand was great. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I think.
Go ahead. I made a mistake this year. Usually, I always bring emergency sugar with me onto the field, which is just pretty much the squeezable applesauce. I almost became a heat casualty myself, but I smartly dropped all my kit.
Yeah.
And just had my knife and my flag. That was all I had. And then I started hitting the hydration stations. That's why we didn't move from Numbskull in the last hour, Brad, because the hydration station was right there. I had to hydrate. I made a mistake, but I learned. I went through and I didn't take some of my own lessons of stuff that was out there. But the pacing, on a whole, when you go out there and you look at everybody did, was there's right there. You guys did amazing. I had a shit day before the main game. I'm the one who came late because of a car accident. You guys made me feel welcome, part of something big when I finally got there. Thank you. So
Big hearts to you, bud.
so it's like it's one of those things that next time you guys go to an event, it doesn't matter if you're going to Bad Blood, your next event next year or whatever, thank the staff for what they're doing, because they don't get enough appreciation for what they're going through and what they're doing. Like your COs, your XOs, any volunteer people that are there, the Chrono staff, thank them, because a lot of times this is a thankless job, and airsofters are idiots, and we feel entitled at times. you know,
That's a really good point. Like, I'm a walking dead rag out there. I'm very visible, even though I still get targeted. And there's more than a handful of people who will talk to me as we're all leaving the field at the end of the day, and giving high fives and great game, thank you, we love that you do this. I hear it all, and it's great. It makes me feel good. But you're right. The staff that I basically press into service to be out there as just walking targets all day long, you guys don't get nearly enough credit and respect for what it is you do. And at least I want to thank you, and I have been thanking you guys for the past week, but I want to thank all of you for what you do, and especially the CEOs and the embeds with the herding of cats, trying to get all these people to move 50 feet without having to shoot them yourself. It's not easy. And
look, shoot one or two, man. The rest move. That's all I gotta say.
But it's an absolute thankless job.
Easy there, Stalin.
And
No,
you guys are absolute professionals at it. So, make sure players talk to your COs, talk to your embeds, talk to the tribals, and let them know how much you appreciate what it is they're doing, because they're doing it for you, especially the tribals. To be honest with you, their entire job is to be targets. Like, there's no winning for the tribals. Their whole job is to harass you and get shot. Thank them for what they do, because it's not easy. Nobody wants to be a target all day long.
And why do you think we make trades with you guys? We're out there to have fun just as much as you are. You guys can, like I explained to my team and like I explained to everybody, you are friends with us until you get just beyond that hill.
Yeah, I know. I found that out the hard way, Buck.
You're welcome. I warned you beforehand. I told you not to trust me.
So did you hear about the fun shenanigans that happened to my little squad? You'll
No.
appreciate this. So me and two of my boys, we came up on a group of tribals, and we're like,
See me after
Guns
Whitey
up.
Pat. You'll see why.
guns up. We're just waiting for them. We're like moving on them. We're like, don't do anything stupid. And they're like, oh no, we're dead. We're good. We're good. I'm like, okay, well, I have a trade proposition for you. Go do your thing. They walked off. I was like, okay. We started moving, met back up. They're like, so what's up? I'm like, we need to work something out. We worked something out. We started to move up towards Castle. Next thing I know, the tribals from behind wiped my entire squad.
Hey, listen! Yes!
But me.
Well, because you made the trade. You made the deal. The other guys didn't make the deal.
They were coming for me, and Green had one guy that picked off the tribal that started to rush me. He thought he was going to be slick and get up behind me and got clapped. And as I moved out of the immediate intense firefight, the tribals are down there like, yeah, we wiped you guys from behind. We were traitors the whole time. Like, well, me then, huh?
See, what it really
Every
was.
single time, never trust
it
a
was-
tribal. You are friends until you get beyond our zone. Then you got to make a new trade.
Nah, the real problem was it wasn't the actual tribals. It was the 50 Greens Army who couldn't find respawn.
Yeah. You know what?
Every time I heard it over
I
the
didn't
radio,
go into
where's
combat
green
with this.
respawn? I answered that. I answered that question.
Oh,
Yeah.
can we also take a minute to appreciate the Deus Ex people that were on tribal frequency demanding that they get the tribal get
No, no,
off of our own frequency?
That wasn't Deus Ex. That wasn't the Deus Ex boys. That was one of the squads on Tan. Because I heard about that, but that was none of the Deus Ex boys. It was a small squad on Tan. They're like, no, this is a Tan squad frequency, and I'm just sitting there giggling. I'm like,
You
no, it's
typed
not
it
right.
in wrong, my friend. But
Yeah.
all right, that's all right.
Wrong number. Can't be the one.
Yeah, but you know what? All in all, I mean, we could pick out the little nonsense all night long.
Oh, it's not. That stuff's just funny at that
Oh,
point.
no,
It was
absolutely.
hilarious.
Yeah, I'm just happy that it went down the way it did, and we made the changes that had to be made. Everybody was on board, and it's just everything just kind of just flew from there. And
It was a really smooth event, and we had a blast.
It's
I think the lower numbers
better
helped
and
out
better.
this year for sure. The herd the cats easier, and processes and everything else that we did. So it was a hell of a lot of fun.
yeah,
absolutely.
I had a great time. I had a lot of fun watching you guys argue with each other lovingly, especially Joker and AWOL, constantly butting heads because they just, wanted to be around each other all day long.
Oh,
Pretty much you guys used to have to get a
making out
room next
behind
time.
the bushes.
I will say at the end of the event, where everybody's giving high fives, that was a great way to decompress because obviously we were right on top of each other to begin with. And Joker obviously knows the airsofties, and we were just right there, and we were able to joke around and have a high five moment right at the very end with his guys.
And of course, the best part of the entire event, that raffle was great.
Oh, always.
There was great stuff in that raffle.
You know what I loved more than anything else about that raffle? Joker won once.
I'm not even going to get into that. We'll do that after hours.
No.
Somebody had to be the one to say it.
But
I just was glad it was me.
Oh,
Our vendors, Jacqueline Amped, really stepped up and provided, and of course Evic just brought awesome stuff. Plenty of swag got thrown into the crowd, not very far because none of us have any discernible upper body strength. And the Moondog NYC Airsoft koozies don't exactly
I have
lie.
so many.
like you throw them and they're at the bottom of the stage. Like, oh, okay, but you know what? We had plenty of these, and it was great. Everybody loved it. That's all I care about. Everybody had a good time. Everybody's coming back. You know what?
So I
Who
gotta
asked?
ask the
I
most
think-
important.
Either Joker or Sin asked how many people this was their first bad
That was
blood.
sin.
And
Listen,
the amount of people who this was their first bad blood was where did you people come from? And thank you. Like it was clearly more first timers than vets, and it was great. And they're hopefully, I have no reason to think they wouldn't be all coming back next year. So I loved it. I'm a happy guy.
The most important question that no one's asked yet, Ian. Where's my hex patches?
Okay.
It had to be said.
It had to be
So
said.
the answer, and I know Moondog's probably listening. He'll correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the answer is they didn't get sent because someone in purchasing, I think, read the email incorrectly, and the hex packages have been discontinued.
What?
The 2025 patches will come back for next year. So we'll have a year late patches to give to people who were at the event.
Hey,
But
that seems to be
Bad
a
patches
Oh my
have been
God.
discontinued.
Hey, now
Oh,
question.
Hold on. At
What
least
about the winter
discontinued.
patch?
At least discontinued from Evic. That doesn't mean we can't make them, but Evic does not make the tab patches anymore.
That's absolute heresy.
What
might
about
have
the
to find
winter's
someone on
patch?
That was made by the softies, I believe, wasn't it?
What's that? That's awesome.
Yeah. The 2023 winners patch, the softies made those, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I want to get together with Doc and make a, not so much a winner's patch, but a patch that just says we didn't lose 2025.
Well, I have already started the window shopping for the championship belt. So
Can Tribal get the patch that said I'm here to kill everybody and not make any friends?
I just want to point. It might have been a tie, but Green won in spirit. My guys held up. They gave 100% of the time.
Held up. I saw you guys twice.
you
Yeah, I
know,
don't know where Deus Ex was the whole map, the whole game. I didn't
We
see
were
you guys.
working.
spreadsheet.
We were
Looking on
working.
the spreadsheet that we have of the past winners, I don't see Green on it a whole lot. Just
No, there's
saying.
a hell of a lot of Marxists. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, a lot of
You wanna know
our,
the last time Greens won? When I was XO.
2023.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, 2023.
So all joking aside, you know,
Yeah.
the tie was the tie this year. That's what it was. I mean, we could joke around and fool around. Evidently, some people are taking it seriously that I said it wasn't a tie. Politely, kiss my ass. It was a tie this year. We're joking. It's what we do every single year. Okay.
It's a four-way tie in my book. Everybody came out of it alive and had fun.
I think
I don't care.
I think next year if we end up with a tie again, there needs to be a CO to CO bloodbath in Tippin Town.
We've
I
done that.
mean,
We have.
we have
done
done that. In
Yeah.
years past, we used to duke out ties with a 1v1 BCOs.
I want to
And
see
I
it.
remember the videos.
Oh yeah.
I,
we've done
I
it.
miss it. I want to see it come back.
The
I
only
think-
reason I
And
didn't
we'll
want to
bring
do
it
it,
back.
the only reason I didn't want to do it, because I knew it would have been a crowd pleaser, was that the weather was coming in.
Yeah,
I knew
Fast.
we had an epic raffle we had to get through, and you know, again, I made the decision. Let's just leave it a tie, and does it really matter? You know, forget Green over there. They don't matter. But
I just got to get my funk back, obviously.
Yeah, right.
Just know there's no participation trophy. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, but back to the
You'd want one
patches, and then,
anyways.
and then let's wrap it up. There's nothing saying that we can't make our own patches for the event, so we just gotta find the vendor that we can work with. But yeah,
I gotta say, big L on Evike's part, guy.
no, I'm
Anybody on?
not gonna say that. They got a lot of business going on. They
Oh, I know.
they know where what they need to focus on, and giving us 500 pieces of custom molded PVC, it wasn't in their budget. I get it. I respect it. And I hope everybody else does too. We'll just for next year we'll make sure we have something that we can provide. It's not a big deal. We got this.
Hey, I mean, we do have those patch swaps for a reason. So
Exactly,
maybe each of the volunteers make their own little patch. Get like 10 of them or 20 of them.
All right.
I will next year, just so everybody's tracking. I am working this year diligently on designing my own custom patch, my own Nesbit patch for next year.
All right.
And
That
I
sounds
will
great.
be bringing a whole bunch of them.
I'll be having a few on me probably
Yeah.
next year. I'm hoping that I can put aside some cash to make some actual patches this year. I've got a full backlog of ideas.
All right, let's wrap it up. We'll go around the room. So let's let me know your final thoughts and what you got coming in the near future. AWOL, what's up? I'm leaving Joker for last for a reason.
Loser.
I don't have any other events planned, so I mean, not much. And takeaway from the event is Joker never got me.
That is true.
Perfect. Buck, what's up? What do you got going on?
Not too much for a little bit. We're looking at a couple events for September. We might be hitting the Op Lion Claw event in October, but Nothing is set in stone as of right now, but you guys will definitely be able to catch me up at Nesbitt's Field at CCZ pretty much every Sunday going forward. So if you guys are looking to catch me out on the field and get some time in with me, that's where I'll be.
Catch you
Awesome.
outside.
He'll be up
Has-
there with me having fun.
All right,
Uh,
final thoughts. What you got going on?
So this year, we're going to be making a definite trip to Code Orange. Looking forward to that in September. Hopefully, I'll have the new LMG up and running since this one went nuclear on me, but it's okay. I do
It's okay.
have a trip to Florida planned in the near future too, because I haven't played airsoft in Florida in quite some time. So I want to make my way back down. And other than that, man, it's just go, work, and prepare for next year.
Awesome. Joker?
All right. Well, this weekend I'm going to Black Tiger Airsoft for their 4th of July event, which is the 4th, 5th, and 6th at Black Tiger Airsoft in Plant City. That's going to be a good time. I'm going only Saturday. I'm going to make an appearance, say hi, shake some hands, shake some babies, kiss some hands. You know what it is.
Whatever it is.
Other than that, it's like the next event I don't think I have is until September. So we'll have Geigerlands the first weekend of September. We might have another big announcement that comes out later on this month, hopefully. But other than that, I mean, once September rolls around, there's going to be a list of stuff that I'm going to. So pretty much that's it for me.
Awesome. And me, I've actually got some fun stuff in the works. I'm going to be revamping and regenerating some of the old classic NYC Airsoft games. I'm retooling our only true Milsim series event. And I am finally bringing back the much loved, to my surprise, Buck and I talked about it, bringing back our post-apocalyptic series of Wasteland. So those are coming out in 2026. Working hard on the
NPC.
planning for that.
So
And
excited.
yeah, just really
Same.
excited. And all
Same.
you Wastelanders who missed the game after COVID crushed it. Yeah, it'll be back in 2026 with NPC heavy LARP style airsoft, and it's going to be great. So
Come with a very, very open mind and a LARPing style attitude.
oh yeah, there's going to be
excited.
all kinds of information drops, and it's going to be its whole world. You know what I mean? It's
Can't
going to be pretty awesome.
100%, I'm down to be part of that.
Absolutely, I will be reaching out.
I'll be
So
there.
that being said, I'm Ian. These are my friends, and that was Bad Blood. Good night.